Santé?
Santé.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
You sing about peace and war. And you think you can change the world with that?
Yes, I already am. People come to the concert and they have an experience that stays with them. Not everyone, but some people do. They have an experience that comes and stays with them. And for those people, their world has shifted a little bit. So it's changed.
What I'm always astonished about is this art of opera shows us we have the same very problems since mankind exists. We are jealous, we don't manage to love each other, and we are in wars. Yeah. So actually one could say we don't learn anything from opera.
I've thought a lot about this during this project, and they say history repeats, but I think it circles back around, but it's spiraling up. Okay. Slowly. So we come back to the same thing, but we've evolved a little bit. You know, the world is safe. We have. Statistically, the world is in its safest period right now. That may change quickly, but for the moment, we are the least murder or least number of people are slaughtered and killed in the world. It's one of the most peaceful times that we've ever had in world history or modern world history. And there is reason for hope. There has to be. I think humanity has evolved in many ways, but we still have a lot to learn. Music is the best teacher of all this titans of masterful composers that show us the possibility that's within each of us.
We saw you on stage very moved, and of course us in Europe seeing what is going on in the States with Donald Trump and whatever, we always wish, or in Europe we expect as well of politicians to be cultured, because a cultured politics is perhaps politics which makes us live safer, isn't it?
Yes. People that are cultured and educated, not always, but will often make better informed decisions. And they have access, again, to this idea of the best of humanity. They have access to something greater than themselves. People that are not cultured and narcissistic, with a capital N, are only thinking of themselves. It's an incredible time that we're living.
So one says Donald Trump can concentrate for the most of 3 minutes, so a whole opera is much too long to him. So what aria would you send to him?
What aria would I send to President Trump? I have to think about that. Cru de Furie, maybe? Okay. Of Handel. Piangerò. It's all Handel. Piangerò. Once he's removed from office, non più mesta. I could keep going. Yeah.
So it's a whole new CD. Yeah. That's perhaps a good idea. My songs for Donald or something.
After the Trump. Yeah, okay. I've made note. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
That's what we sing afterwards.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, composers like Wagner, for example, they said as well, we don't need politicians. Us artists, we are the better politicians. Is that true, or are we wrong in that as well? I mean, what I'm asking for is, where is this ideal connection between politics and culture? What can you give to them, and what can they give to us?
Well, I think politics are the logistical things, and things like true diplomacy have a real place, especially in today's world. Real diplomacy. I hope we have the leaders that will step up and actually remember what that is. But culture, I think, is the conscience of society. It's the conscience of those leaders, and perhaps more importantly, the people. I feel like it's the people who have also given up on culture and have also allowed themselves to fall asleep and just this all the time. You know, I'm not sure we're going to get it from the leaders and the politicians to bring us out of this. I think it's going to come from the artists. It's going to come from the people that start waking up and saying enough is enough.
Which from far away in Europe we can see as well, that a weak government leads to strong artists in the States right now.
Yeah.
So the whole movement you're having there is due to the situation as well.
It's true. They're completely tied, and this is a historical thing that we see over and over, right? It's a fine line, because I've thought about this a lot. This is a very strong and a current stance that I take with this project. I didn't start off this way, but the world shifting as it has, I feel like it's come to me more than anything, and I have to remember that my job and my calling is to be an artist. So I never want to go so far that I interfere with my music making and my ability to communicate with an audience. But on the other hand, more than a musician, I'm a citizen of this world. And this is not the time for me to be complacent and quiet.
Last question, because perhaps we come to grips with that. I talked to Nicolas Anancourt once and asked him what is political about Mozart, and he said, you know, perhaps he is not like Verdi or Wagner, this person who says this politics or that, but they write about this microcosm of politics, the family. Yeah. How I treat my lover, my husband, my wife is the first step of politics. Is that what you mean?
I do think that's actually very true, which is why Mozart's operas and music is so human, because if it doesn't start at an individual level and my circle around me, it will never translate into the world. We are looking at the leaders to solve this problem, and that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It has to be us. As you had the first question you asked me, do I think I've changed the world? And I say on an individual basis, yes, I've changed my world. That's where our power lies.
You change our worlds, and thank you very much for that.
Thanks
a lot, Joyce.
Vielen
Thanks
Dank.
a lot. Vielen Dank.
Thank you.
Dankeschön.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes.
Cheers.
To a better world.